two female pandits did my rituals, the fairas. They made custom vows, and every vow stood by equality. We didn't take different vows.
Vogue did an amazing piece on you a few days ago, which is phenomenal.
Yeah, I'm a Vogue Bride now. When I'm sitting in front of the pious Agni, and when I'm taking the Sat Pheras, why would I want to lie? So I really wanted to only take the vows that I wanted to stick to. So Rajkumari is my poetry, storytelling, musical show. I perform it all over. The show that tells you that don't wait for a prince, not because the prince hates you or there's patriarchy. You'll always need people who've been there for you since you were nothing, because they'll ground you. The reason that I'm myself is Ayush. Both my parents are super intelligent people. And there's a child of theirs who just failed class 7. I was sitting under a tree thinking how the country became free. 5 English poems later, I wrote my first one in Hindi. And there was no going back.
Welcome everyone to another episode of Everyday Empires. I have the wonderful Nayab here.
Thank you so much.
It's wonderful to have you, and you've flown
you
all the
much.
way from India, and you've just landed this morning. So
Yes.
I'm very, very grateful.
No, I'm loving being back to work. I've taken a month-long break, and I was having FOMO. I wanted to get back to work.
Wow. Why was there a break?
I was getting married, guys. You can see there's proof.
How was it getting married?
I loved it. I had the most fun for those 3 days. I can't believe that, I had so much fun at my own wedding.
I was reading about it,
Yeah.
obviously in preparation for this wonderful chat. And I can't believe all those themes that you had as part of the wedding. It was a zero waste
Yes.
philosophy that you had to the
Yes.
wedding. And you had all these other interesting elements and principles that you brought from your side, obviously from Ayush's side as well. Hopefully you had to say a little bit. But to be fair, my wife was amazing for our wedding. I had zero say, but still wonderfully enjoyed it. Talk to you about some of those themes. I mean, so zero waste is an obvious one, but let's touch on that as well. But there's some other elements as well, right?
I think my favorite element was that 2 female pandits did my rituals, the fairas. There was this stereotype, and it's not like female pandits can't do that. They do that, but it's just not known. It's just not seen enough. So unlike, the art we do, you always see male artists on stage, like singers and all. There's a wave of female artists growing through. Similarly, I just thought, why not a female pandit? And while I was growing up back in Sri Ganganagar and I saw all these weddings, I noticed that there's this thing called Sat Vachan, 7 promises that they make you, while you're performing the ceremony. And all those promises were a little backward for me.
Okay.
Because they ask you to always take permission from your husband before you leave home. They ask you to not enter rooms where there are other men. And I've heard these kind of promises. And I don't, if you can take those, please, if you're okay with them, please go ahead. And it's not about a mindset, and I'm not trying to question patriarchy or anything right here. I'm just saying I can't do that. So why, when I'm sitting in front of the pious Agni, and when I'm taking the Sat Pheras, which are 4 I got to know very recently, why would I lie? Why would I want to lie? So I really wanted to only take the vows that I wanted to stick to. So the amazing 2 female pandits came. They made custom vows, and every vow stood by equality. We didn't take different vows. We promised everything together for each other on the same level. We promised to take care of each other. It was not like that he'll take care of me and I'll take care of his family. No, we'll take care of each other and we'll take care of our families. That's it. There was a little change, but it was my favorite part. She said on stage, and there was no Kanyadan, which earlier people said or believed that you're giving away your daughter. And I thought that my parents have raised me their whole life. They've spent every penny they've earned. They've done everything that they could do for me. Why would I not be theirs anymore? So they told me that the original term for it is Kanyavar Pani Grahan, in which you actually promise each other a lifetime of support. And both parents were equally involved. Nothing was given away. They just told us that now you have 1 more son and now you have 1 more daughter. And it was fantastic. My favorite part of the wedding. Nobody cried. Nothing. Everybody was just happy.
I love that, because I'm sure there are some people listening now screaming about traditions and rituals must be done in certain ways, and I'll leave them to comment. But for me, hearing that, because despite my appearances, I'm very British. I was born here, I was bred here. I'm aware of the culture. My parents, of course, taught me a lot. But living the culture is very different because culture is not only what you're taught from your parents, but it's something that's evolving over time as well. A lot of the things you touch on with your themes in your poetry. So for me, I didn't understand the rituals. So I asked a lot of questions and I tried to understand, well, what's the meaning behind the words? And I think if one were to sit down and rewrite all these rituals in today's age, they probably would. It sounds like probably more aligned with what you're saying. I really enjoyed how you've changed those rituals, those words in keeping with your talents to reflect actually how you feel because you thought about the whole process. It wasn't just we'll get married and we'll hire a pandit and this is the venue and this is what I'm going to wear. Important things, but actually I enjoyed how you made that tweak.
I was always allowed to ask questions at my home. I was a very rebellious girl. I'll not deny that. I've troubled my dad more than my mother, though. But in all honesty, rituals, traditions, all these things are time relevant. So probably when they were written and when they were made, they were very, very relevant because men left the house. Women were kept safe in a different sort of setup. So when you talk about feminism and when you talk about equality, when everything else is changing, why not we change this for women, even for yourself? And my simple point was, why should I lie sitting there? As simple as that. My husband doesn't want me to ask him before I leave the house. My in-laws don't want that. I've got the two most supporting pair of parents now, and they're happy with what we want. Wonderful. They are in line with what we want. So if somebody has a question in the comment section, feel free to do what you want to do on your own wedding. We're happy with this one.
Absolutely. And that's a really important point. It's a wedding and a marriage between your family and Ayush's family. No one else's. No one else is getting involved. Right.
Absolutely.
So if you agree that between the two of you, then why not?
Yeah.
That's wonderful. But let's talk about the reason why you're in the UK.
Yes.
Rajkumari.
Yes. So Rajkumari is my poetry, storytelling, musical show. I perform it all over. I'm headed to Australia and New Zealand this month itself. I'm performing tomorrow here in London, but it's a private event. So Rajkumari, by the term of it, means princess. And I think everybody, we all around the world, we can relate to the stories. Whenever you watch any Cinderella story or any fairy tale, you'll always see that a prince would come and make it up for the princess. That's it. That's how we perceive the world when we are little children. And we're not feeding this information or these movies to adults who've seen the world. No, we're feeding them to little children who are just understanding the world. So as a female, as a girl child, I would see that, okay, one day I'll grow up and a prince will come and take me around. Fair enough. I am not here to fight men or I'm not here to fight anything, to be honest. My simple problem is this particular information is not being fed to the boys. Because what are they watching? They're watching Superman. They're watching all these movies by Marvel Studios where you go, you fight the world and you save the world, where you are a superhero and I'm just a princess. And in any of these worlds, a princess and a superhero do not meet. So that's what my problem is. And hence Rajkumari. Rajkumari is a show where I talk about a little girl who thought one day a prince would come, only to realize a prince never comes. Not because he doesn't intend to, only because he's never been told. So when I was growing up in Hindi, and it's a very common word which all of us girls have heard, that jo karna ho apne pati ke saath karna. Whatever you want to do, go do with your husband when you get married. So a lot of our freedom is associated with getting married. And when you finally get married, there's so much other than that particular thing that you wanted to do. There's so much happening. And your husband doesn't know that you've been waiting all your life just to take a trip. Or maybe just to unlock a night out. And in all honesty, that's where Rajkumari enters. It's just a show that tells you that don't wait for a prince. Not because the prince hates you or there's patriarchy or there's a competition between. I love good men. I have so many good men in my life. I've got good friends. I've got an amazing husband. Oh my God, I'm saying it for the first time.
Oh.
The term husband.
You're getting chills.
I was about to say boyfriend. Something. Okay, my heart just fluttered. But yeah, I've got amazing men in my life. But I'm not fighting them here. I'm just telling you that we've been told different stories. So when we finally grow up, we sort of don't meet on the same page. So Rajkumari is a show where it tells you to meet on the same page. It tells you to probably not find love outside, but find it within. So yeah, that's what Rajkumari. It's about a princess who doesn't wait for a prince.
As I was reading
Yeah.
about your show, I was trying to understand the themes that sit behind the princess and the perspective of the female. Obviously, my lovely wife tries to explain these things to me, but as you say, I think sometimes, actually, I'm gonna play it dangerous here, and then
You're married for 7 years. Give me tips.
I'm not sure, but I'm not sure I'm qualified for that.
You tell me what happens after.
I am happily married. You have to ask her if she is.
Yeah.
But from Yesha's perspective or the wife's perspective, it's very much, well, if you're the princess in the story, then you should be treated like a princess in the story. So what does that mean in the context of today's society? But not every prince can treat their princess in the way that it's being told in the stories. If you're fortunate enough to have a good job and have all the things that you would associate with being a princess, that the prince can provide, fair enough, you're living your fairy tale.
Yeah.
But what if the prince can't?
Yeah.
But what if they are, as you say, a good person?
Yeah.
They're building up to being that prince, so to speak.
Yeah.
On the flip side, superheroes, they're not really told. I don't think there's many elements in Marvel movies about relationships. A little bit about falling in love, but not a lot about marriage and the challenges that come with that and building a life with someone. So as a superhero, you're just told to beat the bad guys and carry on. Very kind of single focused and siloed, which doesn't create a breeding ground to build a partnership with people. Particularly the most important person in your life. So how can we rectify this? How can you and I rectify this right now? How can we try to help women and men who are feeling like they want the princess story, but where's the prince? The superhero wants to find their partner, but is not looking in the right direction, or perhaps is not even able to manage and meet the expectations of today's society, potentially. Is there a way to bring people back together other than attend your show, of course?
The first one is always attend my show. I think we fantasize way too much. Way too much. We've stopped living in the reality with all of this social media, and me being somebody on social media saying this might sound very, I don't know, hypocritical. I don't know, but that's not what I promote. We stopped finding the magic in normal. We've stopped it. All we want is a viral reel, is that moment recorded on the camera. We've stopped telling honest stories. All we want is a magical story. Wherever all the magic... Okay, I'll tell you. I just got married, and there's so much pressure about looking a certain way, having everything perfect, and every mess up that could happen did happen at my wedding. Everything I wanted to do went upside down, which nothing bothered me. And that's not who I am as a person. I planned my shows 6 months prior. I planned the wedding in 2 months, not even 2 completely.
Wow.
5 or 6 weeks, I guess. So I'll tell you what, it's finding the magic in the candid, in what's happening, in the imperfections. Because it's your life. It's supposed to be unique. It's not supposed to be the staple template of a fairy tale movie. We've stopped enjoying the unique. I think we need to tell right stories. We need to tell more different stories. Everybody should be fantasizing about what is different about their life rather than, oh, you know what happened in that movie? That's my life like, no. Movies and life are 2 separate things. Movies are inspired, exaggerated versions of your life.
I love that answer. I love that answer because I was just telling my wife Yesha that the best thing I enjoy doing is just going for a walk with her.
Yeah.
In the park and cracking nonsense jokes. I don't even know what we talk about half the time and probably shouldn't share.
Yeah, if I shared what I and Ayush laugh about, nobody would laugh about it. People would think we're just stupid people. But we laugh about that, and that's the fun. I don't need to share it or become famous over it. As simple as that.
Absolutely. And I think you're right. Normalcy is completely undervalued.
Yeah.
And I think just having those little magical moments between your partner, I think is where I think we all should live, because it's manageable, it's attainable, and probably more realistic. I really, really enjoyed that answer because it's something often I think about, and the reason why I think about it a lot is because a lot of my clients, we're very privileged to serve over 1,000 clients in our accountancy practice, and great team. It's great. I have to give a shout out Shout out to the team. But a majority of them are men. And the majority of the men, because generally men tend to be business owners, entrepreneurs, especially in the UK anyway. And a lot of the people that we serve are in the small and medium-sized sector.
Okay.
They tend to be tradespeople, people that use their hands, people that generally you see typically men doing those jobs. And so I'm fortunate to build a personal relationship with some of the clients, and they'll ask me personal questions. How do I keep my wife happy? It's like an odd thing to ask your accountant. Yeah, but
people have to ask that. Wow.
We build strong relationships with our clients. And they ask me, I don't ask them.
Okay.
But it's a question that often comes up. And the most common thing I'm really proud to say with my clients is that they really want to make sure that their family is happy, that their kids are happy, that their wife is happy. And it's okay to have an expectation. But what do you think about sort of people managing expectations and having difficult conversations and riding the normalcy with some of the challenging elements that come with life?
Mine is a two-part answer. First, when you said that when they ask you how to make my wife happy and all, I just very personally feel, I don't know how right it is here in this part of the land, but from where I'm coming from, I feel that we've separated the idea of that, a woman would never understand what a man goes through. And what women feel is, you would never understand what I go through. I think if you talk enough, you would both understand what you go through. If we just talk enough with each other. Because I've always seen that a man would never discuss financial problems with a woman or with their wife. And a woman would never discuss very intimate issues with their husband. They'll just go to their friends for this. And that's where all the trouble begins. Because you've missed a moment of intimacy, a conversation, an important conversation, and you've taken it to a very nonsense area where it does not belong. Your friends don't know what your wife wants, and your female friends don't know what your husband is going through. So one, just talk and just give them the equality that they deserve, and it'll all be solved. If you listen to each other enough, you'd know what they want and what makes them really happy, which is why it's a two-part answer. We think that big gifts would make their partners happy. We think that, if I did this, that would make her happy, or if I made enough money, or if I, bought another big house. No. If you listen to each other enough, you would know that none of this actually makes a human happy. There's a thing called detachment, like gadgets, You're very excited to buy a new phone, like iPhone 17 Pro, we just bought it. It's only for a day or two you'll be excited about it. Once you've seen all the features, it'll be gone. You'll enjoy it until the next model comes. But that's not what happiness is about. Happiness is supposed to stay. So you need to know what you really enjoy. And you can only learn it by experiences. For example, in the last 5 years or 4 years, I've learned that I don't enjoy money. Until unless I was making money, I was desperate for it. I thought money would solve all my problems. It did solve a few of my problems. It did find me in happiness, but not just money. It found me happiness in how I spent it, in charity, in experiences, and sometimes by just not spending it. As simple as that. So I think you learn things about yourself if you have enough experiences. And charity is not just giving away your money. You can find many ways to do charity. I could literally be on ground and doing charity if I don't have money. But now I know what really makes me happy.
What I respond with is trust your partner. Trust your partner to have that communication, to have that conversation, because you're right. It's not the giving of whatever material element you're talking about. Very often it's actually time.
Yeah.
Time is the most,
absolutely,
it's an old
100%.
adage, right? Time is the most precious commodity.
100%.
Fine. But what does that mean? How do you spend time?
I was about to say that, not just time, quality time, please.
Absolutely. So I find myself in really odd conversations as an accountant, which are not a lot of people would think. Yeah. And I guess that's probably why we have a podcast. It's because the finances are so intimately related to personal matters that I don't know how other people interact with their accountant, but you end up becoming, quite close to your accountant because financial matters will often marry up to personal matters. So I have very weird conversation with clients.
I just want to add one thing before you.
Please, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
To all the points I said, I think there's one thing that I missed. Workout. You think your happiness is related to the kind of money you have, and your happiness is very much related to your biological body. And we forget that. I think if couples either work out together or they just make sure that they spend 1 hour just spending onto their physical fitness, their health, they'll be more than happy that they think they are right now.
Oh, top tip.
We don't give enough values to our endorphins, our dopamine release, which actually comes through exercising. Either way, it'll change your mental health.
Yeah, no,
it'll change your mental
absolutely. And I'll share a little personal story because I've had a bit of a journey with my own weight loss and all the rest of it. I used to love going to the gym when I was younger. I was a proper athlete. I used to play a lot of rugby, a lot of football, a lot of cricket. I used to love it. Got an injury, slowed down, but kept up to my sort of dietary habits.
Okay.
So I was eating a lot like an athlete, but not going to the gym. So we all know what that recipe is for. So this year I've made a bit of a massive push to change, particularly my workout habits. Eating habits are generally okay, but it's actually moving around instead of sitting at the desk, moving around. Ever since I've done that, even though I'm still partway through my journey and where I want to be, unbelievable shift.
Yes.
I mean, multiple. Even just the first 2 weeks of exercising, game changer.
We don't value enough how much just movement helps. So I was depressed by 2022 because my art was going nowhere and I was not making enough money. And not that I was making enough money by the end of that year, but by middle of that year, I started working out just at home. Of course, I didn't have money for gym memberships. Just at home, a little movement, a little yoga, and a little meditation. My mental health game changed. My manifestation game changed. I was undervaluing how much movement helps. So yeah, that's the third point. It's not just your partner who's going to make you happy. It's you yourself. You're very responsible for your own happiness.
I want to change the ship a little bit into the intersection between your creativity and the business world. Because I don't have a creative bone in my body. People can joke about creative accounting, but that's still numbers, that's still spreadsheets. I am fascinated by poetry, by your art, by how you even start. So before I get into the intersection bit, I really want to know, how do you start making a poem?
Okay, I wish I had an answer for that, but I'll tell you a little story. So I'm in 9th grade and I'm a very average student, and both my parents are super intelligent people. They're like these nerdy toppers. My mother has her own school. My dad is a banker.
Wow.
They can do math at their tips. And there's a child of theirs who just failed class 7. And I somehow managed through 8th and I'm in 9th grade. And I'm doing everything I can to impress my own parents. And the only thing that they want to be impressed by is my marks, my numbers. So there's a creative writing contest. And I thought, I wish I just win this. So I saw everybody was writing either an article or a story and nobody was writing a poem. So I thought, why not? And the topic was patriotism. So I thought, why not? And it was an open book test. So I took out a book and I just started building a poem. And everything that I knew about a poem was to rhyme. I didn't know there are rules, there are schemes, nothing. I just start writing a poem. So I write, I was sitting under a tree thinking how the country became free. that's my first verse, everybody.
Wow.
Yeah. And the poem flew through. And I enjoyed the process so much. That particular day, I don't know the date, I don't know. I still have a blurry image of that day at school. I didn't win. I didn't win that day. I did not take anything home to impress my parents.
You started off so well, though.
But, oh my God, the happiness that writing a poem brought me. So every day I would just start I would just pen down my emotions. I have one whole poetry about hating social studies because I hated it. 5 English poems later, I wrote my first one in Hindi and there was no going back.
Wow.
There was no going back. I've never loved anything so much. Apart from mathematics, I loved math. But there's nothing I've loved so much than writing one. And I don't know how it came to me. I always say this one line that you don't choose art, it chooses you. So that particular day, poetry chose me and I just held it as a savior. It was my savior. It was my life jacket because I was truly drowning. I didn't know what to do. I didn't have enough for the dreams I had, but I had poetry. So I kept writing one stage to another. There was this one time. Do you know what a rickshaw is?
No.
It's a three-wheel thing in India.
Oh,
yes.
You know? Sorry, I have seen them, yes.
So that's an auto, what you're talking about, but there's an open version of it as well, a person manually cycles. So it's a cycle with 3 tires, all right? So there's this one time that I've stood up on it with a loudspeaker mic on my hand and I've performed in my city. So wherever I would get a chance, I would just stand up and perform a poem. So I cracked stages that where you're supposed to go to later in life. So it was one stage to another, to be honest, but that's how it began. So I don't know how to write one. I can't give you a course. I can't tell you. I've not learned it. It just happens to me.
That's amazing.
It. Yeah.
Just out of pure curiosity.
Yeah.
As someone who just speaks English, I pretend to understand Hindi for the sake of my wife, admittedly.
Okay.
But why were your first handful of poems in English and then you shifted to Hindi? Was that just naturally what came to you, or was there a process?
The first contest was in English.
Oh, fine.
That's why.
Yeah.
I only knew rhyme schemes A, B, A, B. I'd read them in English, and my Hindi was really bad. I still do like मात्राएं, what do say, क्या बोलेंगे मात्रा को English में, I don't know. So I would do spellings wrong in Hindi, and my Hindi was really bad. But once I wrote it Hindi, there was just no going back. I enjoyed it much more. I could express better because that's my mother tongue. My mother tongue is actually Punjabi, but I always express better in Hindi.
You know, this is really funny. My wife and my brother-in-law say the same thing.
Yeah?
They can express themselves a lot better.
Yeah.
They're a lot funnier. They're a lot more insulting. They're more lovelier.
I know what I'm going through right now. But
is there something about Hindi that is more emotive? Like, is it easier to just say words that mean more things?
It's a beautiful language, and the amount of. So I don't know. I just feel I don't know English enough to express better. In Hindi, I have a different word for the emotion that I'm feeling. Like, it's not just happy. What version of happy that I'm feeling, I have an emotion for it. And also with Hindi, you get to use a little bit of Sanskrit, you get a little bit of Urdu, you get a little bit of Punjabi, because the language has a lot of impact from other cultures as well. Because we live with a lot of Muslim people as well. It's not about Muslim people as well. It's a mix. Hindi is actually now mixed with a lot of languages itself. So I think I have a lot more words to express what I'm feeling. I have a lot more expressions, a lot more idioms. I don't know. It could just be me. But I find it beautiful.
All the most important people in my life have said that they can express themselves better in Hindi. So I'm going to take.
Trust me, I've not heard a single English song. I only know this one song, "Perfect" by Ed Sheeran, because that's our song. You chosen mine. But I can't hear I can only do Hindi, Punjabi, Urdu songs. That's it. I can't have fun which is why I never go clubbing anymore.
Oh, really?
I never. I've gone once or twice, and they always play all these techno English music, and I can't do this all night. I can't. I have to have my own lyrics. I just can't nah.
Yeah.
No, I have to lie down. I have to feel every word, and I don't feel that in English personally. Although I'm a convent school pass out, but no, I can't.
So top tip for everyone, they'll never find you in a club. They'll find you in
never, trust me. They'll always find me standing on the side waiting for my friends to just get done with it and leave. I keep requesting people, take me where Bollywood plays. That's it. Just take me to a Bollywood night and then see me not go home. But
it's amazing.
I can't do. Nah.
Oh my gosh. Trying to get that image out, the dancing. The intersection of creativity and art and poetry with the kind of rigidity and kind of formality, accountability, kind of business plan of, running your own business or sort of running your own company. The scale that you've gotten to, 2.5 million followers. I mean, just casually flicking through your Instagram page, there's tens of millions of people that watch those reels. Just before I get into the kind of the businessy bit, what's it like seeing someone or seeing 1 million people, 15 million people, 60 million people have viewed that one reel? What does it feel like?
I'll be very honest. I love numbers. I'm a fan of numbers. I'm a very ambitious and a very competitive person to myself, not to other people. I'm not going to be competitive to you that, I have to surpass your. I just always have to surpass my own numbers. For myself, for the business end of it. But somebody taught me this amazing thing at the very beginning of my career as a poet, to say so. They told me that once I've released the video, once I've written a piece, next moment start getting detached to it. So I had to learn the process of detachment, so I can think of it as a third person POV. So once I've released the piece, I sit back and relax. it doesn't change to me if 60 million people have watched it or 6 people, because I don't want it to change how I write the next piece. So even if 6 people are watching it, I would put the same amount of effort, the same amount of heart, because I love seeing numbers. I won't deny my brain loves it, but my heart is detached the next moment because I've said what I wanted to say with all my heart. So if you watch it, you don't watch it, if it changes 10 million people or if it changes 10 people, I love both cases. I love both scenarios. So I wouldn't change that.
Oh, there's a purity to that.
Yeah, there's a
beautiful.
I wouldn't want that to change.
I look at my own content, and of course, I haven't had the pleasure of having 50 million people looking at a reel, but we've had a couple of small ones, and at first it's very exciting.
Yes.
It's like, oh my gosh, so many people
amazing.
are looking at my face, and then then you look at your face like, is my face okay? Or did I say something okay? And then there's maybe comments or DMs or whatever, and we can talk about that later. But then there's the scrutiny of the content. Did I say things in the right way? Did I express my point in the right way? For you, I think it's more difficult because obviously you've got content where you're talking about yourself or talking about a theme or talking about something similar to this, or you've got your art, your poetry, where that's an expression of who you are.
Yeah.
I find it amazing that you're able to detach from, especially the art element. But for you, when you spend an amount of time producing that art, how can you detach from it?
How do I tell you? Only to be... So I have this... So I always see passion as fire and art as either ice or water, however it makes you feel.
Okay.
You do not want to be burnt by your own passion. As simple as that. Your passion should always be driven with a purpose. So sometimes when we get too attached to the release process of it, the video part of it, how many people are watching it, we sort of get burnt because it'll take its own it's also associated with luck, and it's also associated... The fame has too many angles, to be very honest. Way too many angles. If you believe on your luck, if you believe in consistency, everything takes its own course of time. So when you get too attached that, oh my God, this video was amazing, I thought this was going to get viral, and when it doesn't, it demotivates you for the next one. Yeah. That's where I don't want to get stuck because I did not start it for the fame. If you started it for the fame, you'll always get stuck. I did not. When I wrote my first poem in 9th class, I did not do it to become famous. I did it for myself. And when I recited it for the first time on stage, I just wanted it to reach one right person. I just wanted one person to come to me and say that, oh my God, you were amazing. And I'm getting that. Unless I'm getting that. There's a beautiful quote by Javed Akhtar. I'll try to pronounce that I'll try to say that in English. So when he came to Bombay, I think he had some 11 rupees or 12 rupees in his pocket. And he said that the day I die in this city, or maybe the day I leave this city, if I have 15, I have won and the city has lost. So I've already won. I've already way more than the, what I entered with. So I'm good to go.
I love the purity and the nature of the artist.
Yeah.
Because I can see the passion within you saying all those elements. But the business person in me is sort of going, how do you balance that with the numbers and the accountability and the followership? I mean, I would hesitate to say you have a key performance indicator about achieving a certain amount of followers because that's difficult to get action points from. Yeah. But I presume you have some elements of accountability, right? So what do you do on like the quote unquote business side of your platform to make sure that you're keeping this moving?
So it's very important. And honestly speaking, all of us artists, we lack this. So either we need to have a great knack of business, which is very rare. The best case is you have a great management. You have to have a absolutely ambitious, obsessed with you kind of management. Your management should love you, your business managers should love you, because that's how it works. Every artist has a business manager and a personal manager, or both, or one person who does both jobs. For example, we have a few rules. We never do free ticketed things.
Okay. We
never do that. So, and it has taken a lot, because you always see art as something, so pure, so pious, that you'd see that why is the artist charging for it? And, they sort of try to demean you for that. But you also have to see that it is how homes run. And it's our work. Why are you getting paid for your job? Why can't you do it for free? So this is also my job now. So if you're getting entertained by something, like you watch a movie and you get entertained. Similarly, if you're getting entertained by something, a product, so you, and which is very hard for an artist, you have to see your art as a product. Step number 1, toughest of them all, to see your art as a product that you're selling. But you have to see it. How much, and you have to see it as a business, that this is a product that I've created. For example, Rajkumari, I love my show, but it's also a product that I'm selling. So I have to look at it from that very business angle. So we never do free tickets. We never do discounts. 10 people can come watch it, 10,000 people we'll sell it at a very nice pricing. We started from a very basic. We've reached a sort of premium pricing in India now, but we don't lower the price because we know what we have. Point number 1. Point number 2, we don't engage with people who don't value our art. We don't have sponsors that are not right for it. So we're always looking for bigger opportunities. One is visibility. That as much visibility I have, so there are things that sometimes I don't like, but I do for the visibility. I collaborate with people. I try to collaborate with people who are, more famous and who are more, but I would never do something that doesn't match with my purpose. As simple as that. So there are things that you look at, collaborations, there are ticketed shows, there are big shows that you do a free performance at to sort of catch that audience. There's so many things that you can do as a beginner, and then you can sort of set aside a plan. But I think plans you need a great business manager for. You need a great team for.
Speaking of which, shout out to your amazing manager.
Yeah.
I've only had the pleasure of spending a few moments with her, but she sounds amazing. My understanding was that she's been with you for, I think, the last 5 years or so?
3 years it is.
3 years. Okay,
we've known each other for 4 or 5 years. 3 years we've been working together.
Wow. And that's been instrumental because a lot of your journey has come along in those last 3 years. How important has she been for you?
Very, very. Because, I could never talk about myself the way she does.
Wow.
You will always see, because artists have this very stupid knack of undervaluing themselves. We will never charge the right amount for ourselves. We'll always cave. We have these things, because that's how an artist's heart is. We soften up easy, and that's what we're supposed to have. Empathy, which could be why we might not read people right. So Parul has a sense of it all. She's the layer that I need from the world in the business world. But she will never become the layer between me and my audience. That's how she balances it. So once I'm with my audience, she'll let people hug me, she'll let people kiss me, she'll click their photos. But if it's a business and if it's a business event, she'll be the layer. She'll not even let people directly talk to me. If any business conversation is happening, she'll be there and she'll be like, talk to me. If a personal conversation is happening, she'll hold the hand and bring the person to me. So that's how amazing, and I can never talk about myself like that. That I have to give every credit to her for the kind of commercial change that we've brought to the market. So it's Parul and Tarashna that she's done it.
Wow.
And it's not just me. All of her artists say the same thing. The kind of money that she brings on the table, that's her talent.
When you see very successful people like yourself, like all the other artists that I'm sure Paul looks after, and all the other people on social media.
And it's not just the money, also the kind of respect she brings on the table, because
absolutely,
audience or the people who book you to perform, and they'll always see you how your management projects you. So if you're too loose and if you're not protected, they'll not. It's human mentality that she's just reachable, and the moment you're reachable, they'll not value you. It's sadly, unfortunately, it's not about how amazing your art is. It's just not about, it's also about how amazing your art is, and also how you're projected. The first time I wanted to do a private show, a corporate event with Parul, she made me change my outfits. She literally went with me to buy clothes. She'll always take out her own wardrobe, and I know I was a stupid dresser, I'll accept that. I had no sense of fashion, but she spent more time in the industry than me. So she knows what works, what doesn't work. And I think I spend more time in the poetry industry. So she'll also sit down and learn with me that how does your end of the game works. So while she knows her money game, while she knows her business game, while she knows her networking, she'll sit down and learn with me that what works in the poetry. Now that she's a pro, but all these years she's sort of observed that what works in poetry, what does my audience like, what elements. So yeah, it's a 24/7 job. You can't have somebody who wants a 9 to 5 in this industry.
Oh, absolutely. Like with any good business person, they have a team of people around them.
Yeah.
They might be the headline act. Elon Musk might be the headline act.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you, Elon, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, all the great entrepreneurs of our time and before, they've all got fantastic team members. And they'll be the first person to cite all of those people.
Yes.
And shout out to Parul, shout out to her team for being that partner that you need, because you have the talent. There's a raw element to what you do. There's an artistic element to what you do, which I used the term pure before, but I think I also want to add to that you want to remain and keep it pure. You don't want to taint it with other elements to throw in. What she has done is allow you to be you, which is how you connect with your audience. All the commercial elements are practical. They're logistical to make you who you are today and hopefully beyond. And I think it's really important that people who are listening to this, okay, fine, they might not want to be on social media or create a great platform, but they might want to create a big business.
Absolutely.
It's get yourself a Parul. Get yourself a great person that will advise you, that will tell you where you're going wrong, will always have your best interests at heart. And it's difficult to find that person because for every Parul, there's also others that have taken advantage of someone like yourself who's got that talent, who's got that platform. So when you find someone like Parul, hold on to them tight and make sure.
I think I heard a great advice from Tanmay Bhatt, who's a very famous comedian, influencer, businessman. I don't know, he's too many terms to him. He gave this great, so he works with a team. He also runs an ad agency, I guess. He said that every time a brand deal closes, a percentage of it goes to everybody who works on it. So it's not a flat fee business. So in case you're thinking if you have a great team or if you don't have a great team, if you just started, when you share your profits, the team is more excited to work. They're more happy because it's not a flat fee job for them. They also get, when you grow, they grow with you. So that's how I think, that's a great business advice that I thought that I got from him. As an artist, because people who work with you, when you grow and when your followers grow and when your payments grow, theirs shouldn't stay the same. So I think that helps a lot with having a great team who's more loyal to you.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the business person in me, again, forgive me.
It's a very two-way thing.
Oh, absolutely. Because the actually, I was just talking about it this week, is around, if you have a business and you have key people that are building it with you, and the business, doubles their profits, trebles in profits, well, you want to give them a share in that business so that they've been instrumental in getting it to that level. So why not give them a piece of pie? So it's the same concept. It's
if they benefit the same way you do, they will not leave you.
As a final question, Parul, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
I loved it.
We touched on the wedding just at the start of this conversation, and I want to bring it back in because, wow, what a wedding it was. And I've had the privilege of seeing some photos, and I think Vogue did an amazing piece on you a few days ago, which is phenomenal.
I'm a Vogue Bride now.
Wow, you can say that.
I can, I guess.
And you've got the credentials. And guys, Google it. It's true. It's an amazing article. I want to understand a little bit more about Ayush and his position in your life, because from my understanding, he's been with you for a while, and I think for more than 10 years.
Yeah, 10 years.
Wow. And
I met him October 2015. We're in November 2025, so 10 plus.
What a journey. What a journey. And for me, it's, I know how important my partner is to everything I do. And I just want to share everything with them. And I'm sure you feel the same about Ayush, but could you give us a flavor about how important he has been to you in your journey so far?
How do I tell you, when you're a very ambitious person, you might lose yourself in the journey. You might lose yourself. The reason that I'm myself as of now is Ayush. He's never tried to change me. He's been that guy. There are rooms where I don't need him, right? I could have done this myself, this particular podcast. I could have been here and he could have been roaming around. He could have just told me, okay, babe, go do this and I'll see you after. But he's sitting outside. And the kind of calm that brings to my system is something else. And that's what he's done. Because when I met him, I was a mess. And we have this thing. The first time we had this little moment of love that we felt that, we are something. The first thing I told him was, Ayush, I'm a mess, I'm telling you, because I come from a very dysfunctional background. I come from a home where there was a lot of noise. we're all very different people. My mom and my dad, they're both very lovely people, but they don't align. So there was a lot of noise growing up. So I didn't believe in love. I didn't believe in all of these things. So the first thing I said to him was that Ayush, trust me, I'm a mess. And he said, trust me, you're going to be my mess. So he didn't tell me that, oh, I'll solve you. He just said, okay, you be my mess. And I've been his mess all my life. And I've created art out of that mess. And he's been there, stood by me. His whole family stood by me when they met him. So nobody. The reason I'm able to sort of go do whatever I wanted to do. My parents were somewhere else. There were times that I have to travel cities in the middle of night, take flights that were at odd hours, and I was scared to do that alone. I would have done those alone with all scared, and I would have. Trust me, I wouldn't have stopped because there was no Ayush. But I did that calmly. I did that while reading a book, while working on myself, by prepping, because either Ayush was driving the car or was sitting with me in a cab. All ours. Who gets that?
What a man.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. I think that's a great note to end on, because I'm very conscious that there are always headline people in this world, especially when it comes to social media, where you've got the big name and the blue tick and the X million of followers or whatever it is. But the team that sits around you and the people that are close to you really are what make that happen. Obviously, it doesn't happen without your talent.
Absolutely.
Obviously not. There's no devaluing that. But the way that it's enhanced and put into the world is a function of those people around you. And I always like to highlight those guys. And I'm so glad that you agree, because having an Ayush, and I'm sure there are plenty of people who are on that journey and have their own person. They're a manager, their own partner, whomever. And they're taking those steps through their journey to success.
You'll always need people who've been there for you since you were nothing, because they'll ground you, they'll tell you who you are, and they'll remind you why you started all of this.
I've really enjoyed this conversation.
Thank you so much. So did I.
There's definitely some extra elements in here that I didn't think would come in, but I really appreciate your time, especially since you landed today from India. So
I love doing this.
I think you had a good sleep tonight, but I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.